Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girl, happy Tuesday across Australia and also New Zealand. I think, Phil, if you had to have a rough guess, how long ago was it that we were last on doing What's Making Headlines?
Well, a lot of people want us to be on a lot more, Tom, but I think the last time me and you on, it was for something special. And I think it was when you, for the second year running, was the number one auctioneer on the block, by memory, whenever that was.
Correct. That was an impromptu video, wasn't it? That was triggered by an event, right? But we haven't been doing our Thursday What's Making Headlines prior to that, off the top of my head, wouldn't it be?
No, we haven't been, mate. We're both lead very busy lives, and sometimes when the moons align, we're able to get together. I think the last time I saw you was at the REB Awards in Sydney in February, and we had a couple of glasses of wine and a bit of a yarn. It's hard to get a hold of you these days, mate. You're surrounded. You go to a real estate event, you've got queues of people lining up behind you waiting to have a chat with the great Tom Panos and get a selfie with them.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I said to my doctor, I said, can I ask you, is it normal to have had COVID 5 times? And he said to me, not unless you got big crowds of people around you on a regular basis. And I thought to myself, well, I do. And I think he goes, it stands to reason. He says, think about it. He goes, it's a numbers game. That's all it is, you know. But Phil, we were at your REB Awards, and I get confused because you do have a number of REB events and awards. This is the REB Top 100, right?
Correct.
And that is the original, the OG, as they say. This is the one that really hit the agent's attention, because I realized it when I started seeing real estate agents have it on their signature.
And I still get a lot of satisfaction when I go past a real estate office and they've got a big logo on the wall saying that the number whatever agent in Australia. But Tom, mate, this has got to make us feel really old. This is the 13th year of the REB Top 100 Agents. 13 years we've been doing this now. As we launched it as a way to measure excellence inside of real estate and who the top performers are. 13 years on, it's the benchmark for excellence in real estate. It's the list that everyone aspires to, because it doesn't matter where you're based in Australia. It doesn't matter which group you're with, which franchise group, or whether you're an independent, whether you're part of an industry body or not. This is a universal ranking of real estate in Australia. There are only people that do it. So to be the number one on this list, it means that you are the best agent in Australia.
Okay. So
13 years though, Tom. And we used to do this live, if you remember. We used to do it on stage, and you'd be up on stage sort of going 100 to 1 back in the day.
I remember. We often seem to do it at the casino.
We did. Now, Tom, so purpose today, and thanks everyone for tuning in. And as this audience builds up, we create a bit of suspense as we unveil the REB Top 100 Agents for 2024. I'm going to see you in a couple of days' time at ARIC.
Yes, you certainly are. I'm going to leave. When are you getting there? Saturday or Sunday?
I fly up on Sunday, come back Monday.
Yeah.
Flying whirlwind visit.
Yeah, so it's a big event. It's a big event. They've got bigger numbers this year than any other year. I think a lot of it has to do with the timing as well. I think this is really the second or third real year out of COVID. If you can recall, we were still in a bit of a mask city over the last, previous 12 months. People were slowly getting out of going into face-to-face events. But I think we're nearly back at what life was like face-to-face prior to COVID. I mean, you run event businesses. What John McGrath tells me, they're at 96% of maximum seats that they can sell. So it's around 4.5 they're at. What do you think? Do you think
Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
And even, I'm reading in the papers these days, even the city CBDs are starting to get a bit bustling again towards pre-COVID levels. I think a lot of companies now are getting their teams back into the office in CBD, some 5 days a week, some on more hybrid and flexible work arrangements. But Tom, yeah, the spring back into step. People are connecting and engaging. We're still not where we were at pre-COVID levels, but all of our events, we as a company at Momentum Media do, 80 to 90 major events every single year, and our events business is bustling. It's big. To your point around confusion with REB, Tom, we do a number of different rankings here at REB. We do the REB Top 100 Agents, and that consists of some mini lists within it where we actually go through and rank the states at a top 50 level, and then that all gets put together to create the top 100 agents. So you have people performing well at a state basis who also make it into the national REB top 100 agents. We do the top 50 offices where we recognise the best offices in Australia across residential sales and property management. We also do the top 50 women in real estate ranking, which is another great ranking that we do. And we're about to announce some new initiatives into 2024 and beyond, which I'll leave my powder dry on, and we can communicate that later on. But running in parallel with the rankings, Tom, we also do the REB Awards, which is submission-based awards. We run them at the start of every year. Again, we've been doing that now for 13, 14 years. And that's the event that we see each other every year. Again, universal awards programs, irrespective of where you're based and who your franchise group is or otherwise. It's where all those different areas collide. And Tom, a lot of agents, they might not like it. I don't know what your view is, but they might like that. They like the idea of being number one in their group, but often they don't like not being number one at a national stage. So it's nice to be able to recognise that as a level playing field.
Yeah, 100%. Talking about awards, I've got to say to you, someone asked me this morning because they saw the post I put up that we're going to be talking about it. And he said to me, why do you think agents love awards so much? And I said, oh, what do you mean? And he goes, mate, I'm not in real estate. I saw it. He goes, he's a mortgage broker, right? He's in business that you know very, very well. And I said, probably the gamification, because gamification, like if you think about it, sport is built on gamification. Sport is built on competitive. There's an NRL ladder. There's an AFL ladder. There's an A-League ladder. There's a tennis rankings levels, right? So we know as human beings, we have got a competitive streak. I am doing well and I am seen above yours, right? I would probably say the gamification is probably one. What do you reckon it is? What is it? Because let's be honest, winning the REB award doesn't get you $500,000 in you don't send them 500 grand today. They're not getting, prize money, if you know what I mean. What is it?
Yeah, it's a good point. So you have rankings and you have awards. They're two different things. On the ranking side, REB Top 100 Agents, real estate agents are inherently hugely competitive people. It's a nature of the business, and I would say more so than most industries. In the old language, you rock up at your office front, whatever high street anywhere in Australia, and you eyeball your competitors every single day. That they've got the shop across the road or next door, or there might be numerous competitors. You go to your coffee shop, they're there. You go to the place where you have your lunch, your competitors there. So it's fierce. It's fiercely competitive real estate, and to be a very good real estate agent, you need to have a competitive bent. So it's absolutely the leaderboard, Tom, and aspirational agents want to know that they're winning, because in real estate, winning actually directly correlates or translates into more money coming into your back pocket. And that's why these rankings, REB Top 100 Agents in particular, is synonymous with excellence in real estate. So those people on the list, They want to be higher up the list. Those agents not on the list aspire to get onto the list. And for a lot of them, and you see it now, and you do a lot of coaching work with real estate, Jim, Tom, how many of them would they say, this year my goal is to be on the REB top 100 agents? Because if you're on that, that is an outcome of hard work, tenacity, listing, selling, and everything that encapsulates being a very good agent. So it's a measure of success, Tom. And that's why rankings are so important and influential, particularly the REB top 100 agent to real estate agents. More money in their back pocket, but there's other side positive influences part of it as well. If you want to recruit the best and talented people into your business, they want to be with winners. If you're on the REB top 100 agents ranking and or winning REB awards, it means that you're an attraction business, to borrow a term that you would have used for many, many years. Junior agents want to learn from the masters. They want to learn from the best agents in Australia. And I reckon they'll pick up the REB top 100 agents and say, that's where I want to do my apprenticeship. That's why all this stuff is important. You're going to attract the best support staff. You're going to attract the best administrative capabilities. You're going to attract the best property managers. But more importantly, what's the easiest way to support you win listings? It's based on your previous performance. And if you're able to show a third-party endorsement of your capabilities by an independent body like REB, when you're fronting a listing presentation, one agent is an REB top 100 agent. Another agent that's listing for the same isn't an REB top 100 agent. It's a big point of difference, Tom.
I've actually opened the list on my iPad, and I'm having a look here, and I'm also looking at your metrics, which is really good. It gives you insightful years in the industry, support staff. You've gone in there. This is not the criteria on how you select them. It's just, features of each person. You look at their years in the industry, support staff, days on market, how many listings they got, how many properties they sold. You look at the value, total dollar value that they've sold, and you're looking at the average sold price. Phil, these REB top 100, it's fair to say that they do seem to be agents that sell dearer properties. That's obviously must be an attribute that influences where you fall in the rankings. Would that be right?
Absolutely true, Tom. And we've debated this for many years. And I remember when we formulated this ranking, I called you up 13 years ago to get your counsel on it. And we said, what is a measure of success in real estate when it comes to the end of it? And we said, it's about how much money you make. And we've shaped this particular ranking on the basis of who generates the most sales, who generates the highest value of sales, and what is the size of the average price sold. So it's very much geared towards those agents that sell in the more prestige markets for higher value, and they sell lots of them. And we've had criticism over the years as a result of that, Tom. And this is one of the reasons why we created the sub-lists across Australia, the top 50 for Western Australia, the top 50 for Northern Territory and South Australia, for example. So we could recognise a lot of those other agents who are doing all that is right and excellent in real estate, but they might not operate in those higher areas. We also launched, Tom, the REB Deal Makers, which was about how many properties you sold, irrespective of the size of them. But the REB Top 100 Agents list lends itself to those high-performing agents doing large volumes in high-ticket areas. And as a result of it, Tom, their commission checks are higher.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say, it's funny we're talking about that because I've just seen a comment from Mark Sully, who I know him very well. And he says, accurate list, I reckon I'll be in the top 10. Well, Mark, you would be in the deal makers. If you put in, you'd probably be in the top 5 because he does 250 deals a year, right? Incredible agent. He does them in Greenacre, an area that I'm familiar with, and he's selling $1.1 million properties. And I'm looking at the number 1 agent in the REB Top 100, and he's doing average sale price is $4 million, 4 times that. So Mark can't help it. He's even corrected me, 274 TP. He's a very good agent. And as I say, Mark, to all your vendors when they've sold, Mabruk, which means something along the lines of congratulations, well done. I'm happy with you. Now, Phil, I've actually moved appointments around because I really wanted to have a detailed conversation. I want to ask you, what's your hard finish? Do you have to leave at 1 or you can go past 1 o'clock?
No, I can go past. I got plenty of time for you, Tom, as long as we're creating value for our audience as they tune into this. And also, if you missed this or you want to tell anyone, you're going to be able to pick this up on the podcast on Secrets of the Top 100 Agents, part of the REB podcast network. Tom, we'll get into this because I'm sure a lot of people are getting annoyed with us talking around it.
Okay, let's get into it. Now, I'm thinking, I'm tempted to go. Do you want to go through the list? And just
we will do. What I want to do beforehand, Tom, is just give some sense for how the list has grown over the years, and you know, a couple of minutes on this. So 13 years we've been doing this, right? So if I look at the last 5 years, Tom, if I look at days on market, so this gives a sense for the correlations between the real estate market, the dynamics of the real estate market, and property prices, and how agents are operating. So days on market fell 12 days over the last 5 years, from 45 to an average of 33 days on market in 2024. So in 2020, Tom, the average was 45 days on market. 2021, 38. 2022, 2023, 33. 2024, 33. So it's gone from a peak in 2022 of 28 average days on markets for the top 100 agents. That there is a telltale sign of the performance of real estate and why the market today is like the market that we have.
Okay.
Interesting. Total number of sales, Tom, of the top 100 agents increased over the last 5 years from 9,124 to 11,061. So
they're selling more property.
They're selling a lot more properties, Tom. But they sold the most properties in 2022, 12,556. And that correlates with days on markets being the shortest they ever were. So 2022, bumper year. Average sale price over the last 5 years, Tom, for the top 100 agents grew from 1.41 million to 2.28 million. So it's gone over those 5 years from 1.14 to 2.28. Gives a sense for the accelerating factor of prices inside of real estate. The main performers over the last few years, Alexander Phillips, first place for the top 100 agents. I'm not going to give everything away. He's done 8-9 years in a row. And Michael Clark also on the list, 7 years in a row on the list. So those guys have made it. In what order, you're going to have to find out, Tom. Best women. Sorry, mate.
I'm just having a look. Oh, it's terrible. It's echoing. Oh, it's gone. So, Phil, years in the industry is a column I'm looking at. And it's a useful column because I think people need to get a reality check. You aren't joining real estate and going to be looking like Ryan Serhant in your first year, right? Too many of these real estate shows, and sometimes people actually come in and what they do is they say, well, I'm a smarter person. I'm more intelligent. I've got the gift of the gab. I will actually do it straight away because everyone in there is not good. Yet, when you look at the numbers, I can't see, there's a couple. Nearly everyone is a decade and over. Most of them are 2 decades, right? So there's very clear, it's time in the industry is a major KPI, playing what we call the long game, not the short game. There's a couple of people that have done it in 9 years, you know, like I'm looking at Tessalon, 9 years, he's on the list. But like you look at the ones that you just mentioned, Alex Phillips has done 23 years in real estate. The other one that you mentioned was Michael Clark. He's done 20 years in real estate. Rick Serrao started at KFC at Canterbury. I'll never forget that. KFC at Canterbury. He's done 38 years, right? And the list goes on. So
well, I've got this in Excel, Tom, and I just did a quick average calculation. Average age of agents, and this may depress a lot of people who are new to real estate. The average age of the top 100 agents of 2024 is 17.66 years in the industry.
Wow. Okay. Get in line.
That's the
Get in line, stay in line. Get in line and stay in line. And there's no fast little track that you can go in there, right? So, Phil, what do? We got time. Let's go through the list. Why don't I go through 100 to 50 really fast, right?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Mike Dunn from Clark and Hummel. Clark's Business, the one you're talking about, number 100. Gavin Ottaway, number 99 from Ray White, Sutherland Shire. I'll just read these names and then we'll break up and have a conversation, right? Daniel Gonzalez, number 98 from Realty Lane in WA in Perth. Ex-rock musician, by the way, long-haired guy. Dylan Francis from Jealous Craig at Brunswick gets spot 97. Courtney Caulfield, the wife.
Hang on, Tom. Hang on. Keeping up. Where are you at?
Yeah, number 90. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What do you got for 90? Hang on.
90, I'm at 97.
Are we talking about? Are we on the same list, Tom?
Okay. Let me open up here. Man, guess what? Guess what, everyone? I've opened up his email from last year. Hey, to everyone. Wow, that's unbelievable. You picked that up too. I had that
amateur. You see who's in the business of accurate reporting here, Tom?
Yeah. Fake news.
Do you want me to drive, mate?
No, I'll start again. Number 100, 2024, Lisa Novak. We all know who Lisa is. Number 99, David Choi from McGrath's. Number 97, Lara Samuels from White Fox.
No, she's 98. 97, Ramana Allen.
Ramana Allen, yeah. Where's she? Buxton's.
Yep.
96, Thomas Crawford from Toop and Toop. Well done. All the way from Adelaide, Phil. Bruce Lee from Buxton's is number... we got no numbers on the side here, so I've got to...
95, mate. It's next to their name. If you go across the column F.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Is that right? Or is that I don't think that's right. I think that's what that number there in the column is last year, isn't it?
No, that's hang on. No, it's final rank, Tom. I think you're looking at the Excel cell number.
All right. So Can I just confirm we're at Bruce Lee? What 95. Number was it, Phil?
95.
Okay. Phil, because my numbers aren't showing up on the screen, I'll get you to go on and do the next step. We're up to Patrick McKinnon, and I know Patrick very well from Place.
Place 94.
94?
Yep.
Number 93 is Daniel Gonzalez, who I spoke about earlier on. Daniel, great news. You've gone up the ranks. Last year, you were around 98. You've gone up the ranks. The next one, Sophie Sue from Kay and Burden. Good to see Kay and Burden represented in this list. A long-established prestige brand in Victoria. And Ross Savis owns that group. Well done, Ross. You should be very proud of having Sophie there. Next on the list is Jody Fuster. And she's from Ray White. Good to see you. Got a fair bit of Ray White here this year. What number have you got her down as, Phil?
91.
91. Number 90, Anthony Fay from Ray White. Well done. Number 89, Reese Christopher. And he's from Stone Real Estate. Well done. Number 88, Drew Davies from Place, all the way from Brisbane. We got Adelaide so far. We've had Sydney, We've had
WA.
Brisbane, yeah, and we've had Perth. Well done. Okay, Nigel Mookie from Di Jones is number 87. James Bennett from Bell Property is number 86. Theo Politis, yes, up goes the Greek flag. Well done from Barry Plant at Doncaster, and he gets number 85. Brett Hyman from Hyman Partners gets number 84. Number 83 is Tracy Dixon. By the way, she's in Hunters Hill. Did you know, Phil, that Hunters Hill, which I find interesting, has got the second most amount of billionaires in Australia? Did you know that?
Yeah, I read that story a couple of weeks ago in the paper.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah,
your instant reaction is to think to yourself, Point Piper, Toorak. And that's the reason why our good friend Gavin Rubenstein is launching there. Did you know that? He's launching a second brand in Hunters Hill.
Mate, there's also a lot of, maybe he'll move out there. There's a lot of sort of below the radar millionaires out in those acreages now of the back of the hills through Dural and Galston. And that's another area which is emerging like your Hunters Hill, where you traditionally wouldn't think that's where the billionaires and multimillionaires will live, but they're out there and they're looking for space, mate. It's a changing demographics of where the wealthy choose to live in places like Sydney, and you're getting similar sort of dynamics in other capital cities, mate.
Yeah, I feel I can see that happening, and I can see it happening because a lot of people are turning around and say, well, listen, if I can try and have both the best of city and country all in the one property, and I don't have to sort of get away like you and I do to get a bit of a change. And they love their horses there. They love their golf. And the truth is, most of these people like their privacy. They're not in the limelight. They don't like being on the social pages. They want to have a good lifestyle. They're very family oriented, and I can see why that's happening. Let's keep going on. Paula Beavis from Jealous Craig comes in at number 82. Okay, we move on. Ryan Suri from Ray White, number 81. There was a time, Phil, that we didn't have a lot of Ray White agents in this, but I can see that they're putting their hand up. I mean, Ray White's probably the largest brand in the country with the amount of people that they have, and they run lots of their awards, but obviously a lot of their people have felt compelled. They want to be an award winner in the REB Top 100.
You think about this, Tom. Think about this just as a hypothetical. If I was in the business like Ray White and LJ Hookers, etc., of deepening my franchise network, I would want my agents to appearing in the top 100 agents, because it goes to show that you choose in particular brands with high-performing agents. Success leaves clues, to borrow another one of your sayings, Tom.
Yeah. Okay. We're up to number 80. Michelle Stevens. Yeah, she's an absolute gun from O'Brien's. I'm just having a look here. Gee, she sells a fair bit of real estate. I'm looking at that column there. 266 properties. Yeah. 266 properties, Phil.
Yeah, she's working hard. Average sale price is $790. She's a high volume, high operator.
Okay. So Jill Henry from Stone Real Estate comes in at number 79. Sam Gannon from Chisholm and Gammon, great business out there in Victoria, comes in at number 78. Well done. Simon Noakes from Adelaide. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Simon. They set up an office. Nicholas Noakes, and unfortunately his business partner, a wonderful kid from Adelaide, I won't harp on it too much, died not long after their business got launched. Angelo Nicholas, with a battle with cancer, actually got married in the last few months before he passed away, was the speaker at AREC just before he passed away. And I'm sure, Simon, your business partner and your very close friend, would be very, very proud that you carry the name of that business, Noakes Nicholas. It's still going, and you got number 77, all from Adelaide. And I have to tell you, he's done it at 100 and roughly 160 sales and an average price which is significantly lower than everyone else's, under $1 million, Phil.
Yeah, 971.
Yeah, incredible. Well done. We move on to a gentleman that you also know and I know, because a lot of people don't know this. Don't look at him these days. He's got a nice lifestyle. He owns a big media company. Life's good for him, and he's sitting here announcing the top 100. But there was a time when Phil Tarrant was living in the western suburbs, living week to week, I was thinking about it today, Phil, when I was looking at, they were talking about the migration numbers, and they said, we need the migration numbers to come in because 50% of students at Sydney University, or 48%, were overseas students. And I remember, Phil, I had to go do my master. I still remember it. I had to go do my master's degree at Western Sydney because Sydney Uni wasn't HECS. And there was no way I was going to end up getting, $50,000 a term there, and I was able to go to Western Sydney. But it's so pleased to see Peter Diamantidis from the western suburbs, St. Mary's, in there, in a list with all these people that are selling multi-million-dollar homes, where he's selling, out there, you've owned a lot of real estate out there. What do they sell for? 600?
Well, his average is 764, and I'm happy to report, Tom, that one of those properties sold by Peter was one of my investment properties. He acted for me as an agent for a sale during the financial year that this ranking is included. So very happy with his service. He got a good price.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't sell it now, because St. Mary's is a pretty good spot to be buying real estate, considering all the stuff going out there through the Badgerys Creek precinct, and St. Mary's being a transport hub for it all. But mate, he's doing well.
Yeah, you'll redeploy your money, and you'll use it effectively, and you'll execute it, and you'll get a good return. You've got nothing to worry about. Ahmed Malice, number 75. Ahmed Malice trains at my gym.
You've been posting a lot of yourself recently, Tom, in the gym, lifting weights and getting your arms out in singlets and stuff. And you've always got a perpetual suntan. What's all that about? Is that a self-motivation thing?
There's two questions there. One's the suntan, and let me just tell you, if you've got parents that have come from Kalamata in Greece, which is pretty much the best olives come from Kalamata. Actually, just for your own information, in Amsterdam, where it's legal to sell marijuana, the highest quality weed comes from Kalamata. And the reason why is the way that the land there and the way that the sun hits the land means you just get a very good crop. And it comes with the olives, comes also with their grapes. So that is the olive in my skin, right? That's a genetic. As for training, Phil, because you're a mate and we talk both on air and off air, I did struggle with health I struggled with that condition called long COVID. I mean, I sort of worked through it, but I couldn't actually go off and exercise. And when you get something back that you didn't have, you take it with both hands, and I can't wait to wake up every morning, because there was a period of time, about 1.5, 2 years, and there have been lots of period of time during chemo where going to the gym is actually not an option, right? It's just getting through the day is what you want to do. But Ahmed, he's there nearly every day. He's a guy of Lebanese heritage, and I'm very proud of him, because he does it. He owns the office called Melrose Agents, and he does Ermington, Rydalmere, and Dundas. Phil, how many sales did Ahmed have to do?
Ahmed did 232, mate, at 845 grand as an average price.
Yeah,
sorry, did I get those numbers right?
I don't think he's done
that
many.
I lie. 1.7 million, 78 sales.
He's done 78 sales. Okay,
yeah, that makes a lot more sense for where he's selling.
Yeah. So Ahmed, number 75. Kate Smith comes in at number 74. Kate Smith, ex-professional basketball player. She's about 6'2". She's the tallest female I know, and she does it in Adelaide. And I'm coming across here, and she's
845,000, 232 sales. She's up there.
232 transactions.
Yeah,
that's quite extraordinary, Phil. Well done, Kate.
But Tom, look at this also. Look at the conversion rate. That's on 241 listings secured and 232 sales. So she's very productive.
Yeah.
And productivity is a discussion in its own right.
So Phil, she's a fascinating person because she is a single mum. And she's got multiple, I don't know whether it's 2 or 3 kids. So, you've got a couple of kids yourself. So just picture a female in the family unit that still does 230 sales, right? Solid. Well done. Congratulations, Kate Smith. Philip Allison from Bell Property comes in at Ride. Well done at number 73. Walter Dudich from Kay and Burden, another Kay and Burden, well done, comes in at number 72. David Smith from Highland. Highlands are always in there. They've always got people there. He comes in at number 71, David Smith. Daniel Cook from McGrath's comes in at number 70. Mike Dunn from Clark and Hummel, that's a second Clark and Hummel person, comes in at number 69. Sam from Kaloshi, of course, we all know the Kaloshi brand, comes in at number 68. For the record, Phil, when I was at News Corp, he got golden treatment, this boy, because he was the biggest spender of print advertising in the Gold Coast Bulletin, and I think was number 2 spender in all of News Corp. He's a big believer in marketing. Can I ask you, Phil, what's the average price that Sam Gow's got on the Gold Coast? I'm fascinated.
He's at 4.671.
Yeah.
He sold $210 million in sales, 45 sales. So he doesn't do a lot of sales, but they're high ticket value. And I imagine that gives a sense for the marketing he puts into it. Is he still spending a lot of advertising, Tom? Does anyone do that anymore?
Look, good point. The answer is significantly less. But I will say, and I say it, I was in Geelong last Thursday, where News Corp still has a print paper there. So it's very clear to me, print in 2024 has basically become regional press. So in regional areas where you've got tight-knit communities, print still becomes their Bible, right? And in many ways, it's a lot easier to have one publication that brings the community together, whereas what you'll find is in a lot of the major cities, we've got a lot of little sub-markets, and a lot of those sub-markets pretty much have got what is called, digital, the business that you're in. They have digital communities and digital publications, and they're not print publications. But the Gold Coast Bulletin, I will tell you, is alive and kicking, no question about it. So Tony Chi comes in at number 67, and he's from Harcourts. Well done. Good to see Harcourts there. Craig Lee from McGrath's comes in at number 66. Sam Lloyd, number 65. May Lee from Richard Matthews. Good to see Richard Matthews around the corner. And I'm surprised I haven't... maybe he's in the list. Maybe I'm thinking about Matthew Everingham. He's the owner of that office there. Maybe we're going to come across him in a moment. Scott George comes in at number 63, and he's from Barry Plant. Amit Kumar, what another great story there, comes in at number 62. He's he runs his own independent business out not far from Tessalon. And great story. Opened up his office, Phil, from his house, and had a child that was born unwell. So he had to balance that. And Phil, if I can ask you to tell me what his volume or transactions look like, Amit Kumar at number 62.
So he's out northwest Sydney and Schofields. I'm going to know in that area. I reckon he's probably doing a lot of units in those, the new belt of transport links around there. He is 1.125 million, 153 sales. So that's pretty consistent with that area. There you're talking about the ponds and areas like the ponds, Tom, with a lot of new build units, but a lot of new build 5-bedroom homes as well. So his numbers are very consistent. 153 is a lot of properties.
Yeah, well done. Let's keep going. Jeffrey Lee from Media and Group.
Midland Group. Yep.
So that's out north, St. Leonard's, Chatswood area off the top of my head.
St. Leonard's, Chatswood. Yep.
Well done. Well done. He's number 61. Let's move on to William Chan. William Chan from, oh yes, I've just noticed that partnership came to an end. There was 3 partners. Now it's become 2, but William Chan has come in at number 60. Great kid.
I think, Tom, is a little anecdote for you. I think William Chan sold a property for Alex Whitlock, my business partner, this year, or maybe it was last year. Very, very happy. He's a big supporter of William, thinks he's an absolute gun, real rising star in real estate. And Alex will tell you a story. We'll have to get him on at some point where, and I'll probably butcher this by paraphrasing it, but William Chan's, one of his goals was to get on the REB list, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I have lots of real estate agents that I do the one-on-ones on Zooms, and I often ask them, define if 2025 was an amazing year for you, what would that look like? They'll talk about, how many sales they'll do, and I'll talk about their health. I'll talk about a few personal goals, and they'll often turn around and say, I'd love to win this award, or I'd love to, speak at this conference. But it comes up, Phil, it's aspirational, to be in that 100. So well done, William. Well done, William. Very proud of you. Young guy too. Dallas Taylor from Jealous Craig comes in at number 59. James Ramsey from Ramsey Realty comes in at number 58. Alexandra Stamichu Buddha, I know her very well. That's a fascinating story. She works for McGrath, but McGrath doesn't have an office even anywhere near Elwood. Like, to give you an idea, Phil, the closest spot that McGrath have an office to Elwood is Leichhardt. Yet she totally dominates there. She it goes to show it doesn't matter where your office is. What matters is where your focus is,
It's good.
William Torres came over. Oh, he's got a beautiful story, Phil. He came over, I forget the country. They came over as refugees, right? And the guy is in Brisbane. Saw terrible things happen in his country. And Torres Property, he comes in at number 56, extraordinary from Brisbane. Well done, William. Eric Heranto comes in at number 55. Trent Tarby, who is the nephew of the great Charles Tarby and the owner of Century 21, his nephew actually works at McGrath.
What's all that about?
Yeah, well, I just think he's got a job at McGrath. He ended up buying into the business. I actually did an auction for him 3 weeks ago. Not that he wanted to use me, because McGrath uses their own auctioneers, but it was a vendor. It was actually the people from the block.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, Steph on the block. She sold her own home, and she said, get me another 1.5 million over reserve. I said to her, Steph, get me Adrian Portelli there, and anything's possible, right? Never happened. Adrian Savalas, I know him, great guy from Newtown, comes in at number 52. Sean
we
Hughes.
We missed Arabella Hooper there from Harris in Sterling there at 53.
Pick up, and how can I miss Arabella Hooper? Because she comes from Harris Real Estate, the great office there. Well done, Arabella, number 53. Arabella Hooper, a mum, loves doing the horses. She's got horses up where she lives there, and congratulations, well done. Adrian Savalas, as I said, number 52. Sean Hughes from Perth, real mark. But watch this space. That's all I'm going to say. I know him very well. I do work with him. Number 51, just for your own information, Sean Hughes is the son of the Kim Hughes, the ex-cricketer and ex-cricketer of the Australian cricket team. Do you remember Kim Hughes?
I do remember Kim Hughes.
Yeah. That's the son. Anthony Donato from Bell on the Central Coast, not far from where you own a property, actually. He actually sells a lot of property in there. He came in at number 50, and that's a massive effort. Chris Hassel, number 49. I'm flying through this list because I'm looking at the time. I want to aim to finish at 1:30 if we can, Phil. By the way, those of you that are watching, can you do me a favor? Press that share button. Press that share button. I want to get it out there, particularly if you've been one of the people that has been mentioned here. Let everyone know. Chris Hassel, number 49 from Buxton's. Long-term client of mine, great guy. He's also one of the owners of the Buxton's group. And Phil, he comes from Bentley. I've been curious, what's he done? Has he done, where's Chris Hassel with volume and price points?
He's 103 properties sold off 105 listings at 1.654 million as an average price, 170 million in total in sales. 21 years in the industry.
Okay. Being mindful of time, I'm going to go really quickly. Nicole Q comes in at number 48 from Jealous Craig. Roger Wandy comes in at number 47. Roger Wardy, apologize. Roger Wardy from Ray White, number 47. Michael Dowling from Pello comes in at number 45. I've missed Anna Cavill, number 46 from CDS Group. Kevin Dearlove from Stone comes in at number 44. Stephen Huang comes in at number 43. Andrew Lutzy, well done, Andrew. Andrew, I know what you're going through. I know what's happening outside in your life. He's facing a challenge that we all face, and I want to congratulate you because even in adversity, my friend, number 42, well done. Simon Harrison from Bell comes in at number 41 out in that Hunters Hill area. Calvin Chan from Buxton's comes in at number 40, long-term client. Well done, Calvin. And his price point off the top of my head is not much more than $1 million, Phil. So he's done pretty well.
1.3.
Yeah, he's done very well. Scott Patterson, we're up to number 39 from Kay and Burton. Well done. Calvin Hung from Jealous Craig, number 38. Adam McMahon, number 37 from Dingham. Robert Pignataro from Strathfield Partners, number 36. Andrew Kelleher from Jealous Craig, up in that Doncaster area, comes in at number 35. Betty Ockelander, good old Betty. How are you, Betty? From McGrath, number 34. Dane Queenan comes in at number 33, and they're from PRD in Port Stephens. Good to see PRD represented. Then we move on to Dan Quirin, comes in. Oh, sorry, we just did that. Catherine Dixon from PPD, an office that we all know, obviously, because of Alex Phillips. We haven't run into him yet. Let's see where he is. Catherine Dixon, also from the same office, comes in at number 32. They're competitors, stiff competition between the two. We move on to Tony Doherty, number 31 from Brisbane at Bell Property. Well done. Emily Davidson comes in from, she's from Sotheby's, comes in at number 30. Number 30. Ben Pike from Pulse in the Shire comes in at number 21. Mario San Francisco. I just love saying your name. Number 28 from Canberra. He's our first ACT person. Good long-term client as well. Well done, Mario. Another guy, he's lost his child and, many years ago. And you look at what he's done there. Well done. I'm sure your child's looking from above saying, thank you, Dad. You're doing amazing. Sally Cameron, number 27 from Toop and Toop. Corey Shabaris, who has sold his business recently to McGrath, comes in at number 26 from the Hills. Tarrant, new office, McGrath Strathfield, number 25. Wow, well done, Tarun. Jared comes in number 24 from Jealous Craig. Vivian Yap, many of you know from Perth, spoke to her the other day, comes in at number 23. Well done. Dal Keith, expensive area, but form is temporary, class is permanent. She's class, she's always there. James Baker, who also sold the property for Alex, because I remember that. I referred it to him. Geez, you guys have a bit of property up there in at the REB, mate. You've got property. He's got property. You've done well, mate. Well done.
Well, if you talk a lot about property, you got to invest you got to put your money where your mouth is, Tom.
100%. Yeah, not like some of these. I had a person. He's actually going to use your buyer's agent that you use, the surfer. He interviewed 4 buyer's agent, and he asked him a very good question. He said, "Can you give me written evidence of your property portfolio?" And he said to them, he had 3 of them didn't own a property. And I said to him, "Did that stop you?" He goes, "Absolutely, it stopped me using them." Right?
So here's you, like Paul Glossop from Pure Property Investment.
I'm going to use that surfer guy that you put on the video. I said, "We haven't done that for a while." I said, "That's Phil's mate. What's his name? Paul, isn't it?"
Paul Glossop. Yeah, Paul.
Yeah. So James Baker, well done, number 22. Zaylee Reynolds, number 21. And I love Zaylee, long-term client, owns an office, shelter real estate. Well done. So many people have had tragedies in their lives. Like, if you knew Zaylee's story, you can go Google it, right? And they end up, isn't it interesting? It doesn't have to define you. Something doesn't have to define you. You can pick up the pieces. It can just be a chapter in the book. It doesn't have to be the final chapter of your book. And well done to you. It's not where you are, it's where you're heading that matters. Yes, I am right. So Richard Matthews have got 2 people. Vivek Taylor, number 20. Well done, Vivek. So proud of you. I still remember you. Used to do auctions with you, and you were the assistant. And there was a time where they thought this guy was never going to cut it. He then now is number 20. Well done. Matthew Ebringham, he is in the list, Phil. Number 19 from Richard Matthews. Alex Mintorn from the North, Pello, comes in at number 18. Matt Steinway comes in at number 17. Another guy who buried his son earlier this year. Suicide, if you remember, Phil. Well done, Matty Steinway. Brother, congratulations. You've come in at number 17 and you're on the Central Coast. You're not in Toorak or Double Bay. Well done. Sam Regopoulos, another Greek, comes in at number 16 from Jealous Craig. And right above him is Carla Freda, number 15 from the same brand. Alex Jordan, number 14 from McGrath's in Brisbane. Well done. Well done, Alex. Norman So from Strathfield Bill comes in at number 13. Matthew Pilios, who used to be with Marshall White, is now at K & Burden, comes in at number 12. Well done, Matty.
Tom Matthews, interesting. If you look at the numbers here, and what we have is someone that will dominate this ranking in the years ahead. He's the only agent in the top 25 with single digits for years in industry. He's only been in the industry for 9 years. And he's sitting there at number 12. Recently changed real estate brands. He's committed to K & Burton. I spoke to him the other day. But Tom, he's only 9 years in the industry, competing against others, 39 years, 20 years, 26 years, 23 years. So certainly someone to watch, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, Matty Pilios is a long-term client of mine, Phil. But let me just say, he did come from realestate.com as an account manager before real estate. He was having all these agents that he used to service making 10 times what he made. And then I said to him, you've got to let go of the bribe. He said, what's the bribe? I said, the salary. Right? I said, you've got to let it go. I said, because if you want to do what they're doing, you've got to let it go. So congratulations, Matthew Pilios. Well done. Well done. Jennifer Carr from Louis Carr comes in at number 11. She's always there. Peter Truancy now is number 10. We're down to that list, the final 10, Phil. Susan, if you don't mind, I know you're watching. Can you please move my 1:30 appointment by 10 minutes? If you don't mind, Susan, can you please move my appointment? I know that she is watching. The reason I know she's watching is she just actually put that up on the screen, and I know I didn't do it. So it has to be Susan that's done it in the background. So let's move on. We are in the top 10 right now, Phil. This is the top 10, everyone. Okay, pause. Look at this. Look at this girl. Look at this girl. She's amazing. All your appointments have been moved. Thank you, Susan. So, Phil, drum roll. Number 10, Peter Chauncey from McGrath. Number 9, not far from where I live, Concord Dibs Chidiac. Sorry, mistake. David Walker comes in at number 9 from Ray White. Well done. The son of the famous TV doctor, Dr. Ross Walker, that's on all the programs. David Walker, congratulations. You come in at number 9 from Ray White. Number 8, Dib Chidiac. He runs his own brand, Phil. Congratulations. Helen Yan from Ray White in Melbourne. Baldwin's the area, comes in at number 7. Helen, well done. She's been a real estate gym member for 9 years. Michael Koloshi, another client of mine since 2019, comes in at number 6. So, Phil, he runs one of the most extraordinary businesses on the Gold Coast. Well done. Susan Hibbard, which you can all see speak at ARIC, comes in at number 5 from the Shire. Well done, Susan. Straight talking, no nonsense. Tells you what you want to hear, not what you'd like to hear. Well done. She comes in at number 5. Number 4, everyone. All the way from KFC 30 years ago is Rick Serrao. Rick Serrao. Well done, Rick. Number 4 from Rain and Horn, Double Bay, Bondi Beach. Number 3. Phil, I'm going to let you do the top 3. You deserve to do the top 3. Your business puts so much time and effort into getting these awards. You are going to announce the top 3. Who are the top 3 agents? REB 100.
Thank you. Well, look, I saw this list literally 10 minutes before you did, and I deliberately know how the list lands until it's time to talk about it, because like you, I know a lot of people in real estate and everyone's very curious about it. It's a great team here, Tom, who put this together. Our partner, Joel, market intelligence, do all the heavy lifting on the report. A lot of people would have been dealing with the relevant people there. Demi within our marketing team who puts all this together. And you can go and download the report, realestatebusiness.com.au. This report also, Tom, wouldn't be possible without the support of our partners, including the principal partner for this ranking, Managed. That's managedapp.com.au. Be remiss of me not to acknowledge them as well. They've associated themselves to this ranking because they know in property management, the best performing agents are those that also over time built great assets in their rent rolls. So they're one of the leverage that and connect themselves with the top performing agents in Australia. So number 3, Tom, of the top 3 of the top 100 agents for 2024, Clay Longhurst from Sydney Sotheby's International out of Wallara and Paddington, Tom. 176 sales, average price $2.866 million for a total volume sold of $500 million, 504,525. What a standout, exceptional result there.
Yeah, well, I've got to say to you, Phil, that he, up until recently, was at Breshik Whitney. He's only done the move probably in the last 9 months, and he's at Sotheby's with Michael Pallier, and that's an extraordinary effort. Brand change, but rankings, if anything, he's gone up. Let's move on to the next person.
Number 2, Tom, and you know, whether or not these will keep toggling and see who, and whether or not he'll take the number 1 spot at a point in time. Out of Manly, Michael Clark from Clark and Hummel. He's got some good listings at the moment. I've been watching them. Average sale price $4.032 million, 202 sales, Tom, off 211 residential property listings secured. Total value of residential properties sold $814 million. So knocking on the door of $1 billion. That's a huge effort for Michael.
Okay. So Michael Clark's been a long-term real estate gym member, and I'll never forget the story he told me. Rock bottom, he was at a service station, Phil, and he didn't have enough money to pay for the petrol, right? That was rock bottom. And I think sometimes you do need to hit rock bottom, because in many ways it becomes a bit of a, like, there's got to come a time where you just say enough is enough. I'm no longer prepared to operate and participate in life in this way. And he and his wife have built an incredible business, Clark and Hummel, Cherie Hummel, Michael Clark. Congratulations. So I think a lot of people watching this now would be aware who number 1 is, right? Because we've read who number 2 is, right? And I know that this person who's watching, and I think everyone's watching, she is the business manager of number 1, Prue Kelly. But Phil,
this gentleman had a big write-up in the paper yesterday, I think the day before, on the Australian, based off the REB top 50 ranking list as the number 1 agent in New South Wales. He also is the number 1 agent in Australia. Alexander Phillips from PPD, Phillips Panzer Donnelly, eastern suburbs of Sydney. 23 years in the industry, Tom, still isn't slowing down. 4 support staff. Average days on market, 19, Tom, 19. So he's selling properties quickly. Secured 238 residential listings, sold 205 of them. Average sale price, Tom, $4.75 million. Total value of residential properties sold, $973.8 million. He's done it again.
Congratulations, Alex Phillips. Absolute gun. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Another guy that's got class. And I will say this to you, Phil. You want to talk about speed of service. This guy, when you ring him, he rings you. If he doesn't pick up the phone, he rings you within minutes. His competitive advantage is speed of service, right? Now, various tech companies, Uber being the main one, has forced an expectation by the public to demand things instantly, and he's moved very good. So I'm going to congratulate him. Well done. Well done. So,
well, interesting point, Tom, because, you know, we touched on at the bottom of this list just to now give some interpretation. around productivity, and productivity will be a key driver for success in real estate and whether or not you make the REB top 100 list. So his average days on market, Tom, he's selling properties at an average price point of $4 and a bit million, right? His average days on market is 19. The average across the whole of the top 100 REB agents for 2024 is 32 days. So he's nearly, he's 60% faster than the rest of the market in selling properties, to do some real base maths. That's got to be a driver of sales. It has to be.
So I can tell you, because I've interviewed him a number of times. I interviewed him last year at ARIC. I've interviewed him on the Real Estate Gym many times. He actually goes to a listing with buyers already selected that are going to buy the property, and he often is selling properties within hours of listing them, because he's matchmaking buyers. But the next step is often not him, but all these good agents, they create deals. What happens is they have a buyer and they think about someone that they valued their house in the last 2-3 years, and they create things. They don't wait for homes to come on the market, Phil. They pick up the phone and say, listen, I know it's premature. I've got someone in front of me right now. They've got $2.5 million to spend. They missed out on something yesterday for 2.4. They're ready to go. I think they're going to pay overs on something. Should I mention your home or should we leave it? They create deals, right? And that's indicated there in their numbers. So, Phil, can you just very quickly tell me, if someone wants to get a copy of this list, how do they get the list?
realestatebusiness.com.au. Go to the website. You won't miss it. Go and check it out. It's all being loaded up right now. We're about to release it to market. This is the first time we've spoken about it live. So if you subscribe to REB, it'll be landing in your inbox in a moment. If you're not a subscriber, go to the website, and while you're there, subscribe, and you can download the report there. So it's all there, all the numbers. You can pick through it. You can have fun. You can pull it apart. You can look where you're performing and benchmark yourself against it. Tom, I'm looking at these numbers. Michael Clark is closing the gap on Alexander Phillips. They've essentially got a very similar sales price. Alexander at 4.7, Michael at 4. Alex sold 205 properties. Michael sold 202. So whether or not, I don't think Alexander Phillips, and you know him well, he's a very competitive person. He's not going to lose that mantle, is he?
No. So I don't know what his deep values are, but I think he's got enough money for money not to be the ultimate driver. I think the recognition of being seen as the number one in this award is something that he highly values, and I don't think he's going to give it up easily, But I will say, sorry, Phil, you're going to say something?
No, I was going to say, Tom, look, I've got another couple of minutes. If there's any comments that anyone has that they want to cover off, I'm happy for us to get into it. If there's anything good there, we can always do a follow-up and a wrap-up. Maybe we can do something up at ARIC.
Yeah, 100%. Phil, the only thing I'm going to say is there are a lot of similarities between sports and real estate. One of it is your ability to handle boredom, because you're often doing repetitive tasks over and over again. Swimmers have to swim down that lane looking at a black line 4 hours every day. And you can go from the heights of exhilaration to the depths of depression in 24 hours. And if you do that for a very long time, you find that it's not normal to do 30, 40 years at the top of the field in real estate. Like it's not normal to do it in sport. The body and the mind only has a certain amount of time. To me, from what I see, it appears to be a decade to 2, not more than that. And for me, it's saying that there is definitely an opportunity for a tide to change in the years to come. We have to accept there are younger people that are coming through, and not every young person has entitlement syndrome. There are a lot of people out there that think differently. And the difference is, Phil, the quality of the young agent coming through. I mean, there are real estate agents there that are coming out of university with high distinctions that are basically saying, stuff the city corporate job. I'm going to go off and make $1 million a year in real estate and live and work in my local neighborhood, right? So the opportunity is there. I don't want people watching this thinking to themselves, oh, it's a done deal, because some of these names, particularly at their upper end, are names that have been there for a few years. But that's not going to stay forever, Phil, right? Don't get me wrong. They're not going to give up with a fight. And the other side of it, Phil, is you got to understand, and I know a lot of these agents get to a certain level. They want to start enjoying their money. They want to start actually, doing stuff which involves a lot of travel. So if you're not in the country or not at your office, obviously your productivity is going to be impacted. But Phil, I want to finish off in a minute or two. I want to, thank you for the opportunity to. By the way, while we've been talking, Susan's told me 3/4 of the people on this list are either a real estate gym member, the person in their EBU or in their team is a gym member, or they are a one-on-one client. So I do thank you for the opportunity.
Just for a bit of entertainment. What would be the average commission, do you think, of all of these? Let's work out the billable earnings of the top 100 agents for 2024. I'll do it live on the fly. 2.2% average comms?
No.
Give me a number.
I
don't know the number. I just want something to benchmark it off.
1.5.
1.5.
I'm going to say 1.5, Phil, because when you start talking about the higher end of the market, Phil, if you think about it, a $10 million house at 1.5 is still a $150,000 fee. So what you'll notice is as prices go up higher, it's quite normal for the fee to be lower. So, out in Diamantidis territory in St. Mary's, even that's got competitive, but 2.5, 2.7, 3%, is achievable in those areas. Because if you think about it, you're selling a house for, 500 grand, 2% of 500 grand, what's that? $10,000, right? So 3%, 15 grand, right? It's, you want to sort of, so I don't think a percentage is a good reflection overall to say, oh, this is what they do, because you'll find, I think there'll be a strong link between your last column, which is average sale price, and the fee. Yeah.
So just in general numbers, total value of real estate sold, Tom, $22.374 billion for the top 100 agents for 2024, which is pretty good going, mate. Billables, so what did that generate in income into the businesses connected with it? $335 million, Tom. Average of 3.356 million.
Unbelievable. That is just unbelievable.
In real estate billings. So the top 100 agents, income, $335 million.
That's extraordinary, Phil. That is extraordinary. Yeah. So I've got to say...
That said, Tom, there were 100 support staff connected in with that in order to deliver it. So let's look at that: 100 agents and 100 support staff.
Well,
so 200 people.
Okay, it'll be remiss of me not to actually comment on this column, because it's the one thing we haven't really touched on, Phil, and that is support staff, right? Support staff, right? Which is how many people in your unit. And I'm having a look, Alex Phillips has got 4. One of them is Prue, and she's a great support staff. She's a stun double for him. But when you're looking at it, it's really hard to actually do this on your own. It's basically impossible. My final words to anyone is that the bigger the dream, the bigger the team. And one of the things that we probably haven't discussed, because we always focus on great agents being great deal makers, but I got to tell you, great teams have got someone that knows how to organize, prioritize, keep their team accountable, set the agenda, work and coach their people. Because once you start talking about the numbers you're talking about here at the REB field, once you start talking about, what commissions GCI they're doing, right? Some of these people are writing 10, 15, $20 million in fees, Phil, right? That is done by you being able to intelligently have your team in clear swim lanes, knowing what they're doing, remunerating them accordingly, catching them doing things right, catching them doing things wrong. It's not just about find a seller, find a buyer, match them up. It's big business. It's about, teams. And I think it's also important that we make a reference to that, because a lot of people that see this might think to themselves, I'll never be able to do that on my own. And my answer is, you won't. No, you won't. You need a team to do it. It's impossible. But Phil, I really enjoyed doing this. I only allocated 30 minutes with you today to do this, but I think you and I have really enjoyed having this conversation, acknowledging people that have put in the hard work, not just for this year. Obviously, a lot of these people are getting the rewards of many years in the business. So congratulations to you and your business partners for doing this. REB top 100. Susan has been kind enough to actually give people the exact link to go to get it. It's up there on the screen. Phil Tarrant, absolute pleasure working with you today in going through the REB top 100. Those of you that have been on for the last hour or so, I want to thank you as well for your attention. Phil, I noticed that you've actually frozen, and you've actually frozen at the absolute right time, the end time. Signing off.